Welcome to Arcade Labs. Today we'll be cleaning and waxing the playfield of this 1961 Egghead Pinball machine by Gottlieb. This is actually the first coin-op game that I got my hands on when I was a kid back in the early 80s when my parents bought it from a collector that we happened to meet. You could say that this is the game that started it all. I've made some minor repairs to the game over the years, but it's never had a proper playfield cleaning. Today we'll be giving it a well-deserved cleaning and waxing and also replace the playfield rubber rings, which you can see really need to be swapped out with new ones. If we look closer at the playfield, we can see dark lines where the ball is rolled in the outlanes. Likewise, the shooter lane has a lot of dirt accumulated. Now that we've removed the glass, let's get on with the cleaning of the playfield. The first step is to remove all the components from the playfield. This will give us good access for cleaning and waxing. In addition to taking pictures of the playfield, I'm also placing parts into multiple bins to make it easier later to put things back together. This way, parts that go together won't get mixed up, and there'll be less chance of putting something back in the wrong place. That's it for the disassembly, and we'll set aside the parts for later. With the parts removed, we can really see how grimy the playfield is. Those circles between the pop bumpers are where bumper posts were previously. The clean circle is the area around the post where the ball couldn't touch the playfield. We'll see these circles disappear later as we clean the surrounding playfield. Now that the components are removed, I'm going to vacuum the playfield to pick up any loose debris. For the first stage of the Playfield cleaning, I'll be using a solvent called naphtha, which can usually be found at hardware stores or Home Depot. Naphtha is recommended for cleaning pinball playfields because it's able to dissolve grime and ball trails without damaging the finish. It evaporates fast without leaving residue or moisture behind, and also, unlike water, it won't raise the grain. Naphtha is safe to use before waxing because it leaves the playfield chemically clean. It's important to note that naphtha and its vapors are highly flammable. Naphtha is basically lighter fluid. As such, you need to be careful not to have any ignition sources nearby. And speaking of vapors, I'm wearing a respirator during this part of the cleaning to avoid inhaling the fumes. So far, you can see a nice improvement in the ball trails in the shooter lane and in that area across the top. One final note on using naphtha is that you need to be careful how you dispose of the cleaning rags. Similar to other solvents and finishes, the naphtha vapors can heat up in rags and spontaneously combust. I usually lay them out flat to dry and then dispose of them in an outdoor trash can. The next step is to apply a polish named Novus 2 to the playfield. Novus 2 contains mild abrasives but is generally safe for cleaning and restoring playfield and also plastic parts. The final step in cleaning the playfield is to apply a thin coat of carnauba wax. For this, it's recommended to use a high-quality paste wax that contains 100% carnauba. Things to avoid are liquid waxes or ones that contain cleaners or silicone. The application process is pretty simple. Just apply the wax to the playfield in a thin, even coat while avoiding getting the wax on plastic or other parts. It's been about 20 minutes, so now it's time to buff off the dried wax. This should leave a smooth, glossy finish on the playfield. This wraps up the playfield cleaning process. I'd like to give a shout out to the Gottlieb Electromechanical Pinball Repair Group on Facebook. The members there are very knowledgeable and they had great information on playfield cleaning. I recommend checking it out. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to replace the rubber rings on the playfield. Here is a convenient kit that I ordered from Marco Specialties that includes all 28 rubber rings and bands. The kit includes a nice guide that shows where each ring goes on the playfield. Now we'll start the process of replacing the rubber rings. It's kind of amazing that the previous rings have held up for 40 plus years without breaking. Most of them are very dry and cracked, but still have some elastic life left in them. You can see this one here I put on wrong. I'll notice it later and fix it. Now that the pop bumpers are done, it's time to put the caps back on. Incidentally, I did wash and polish all the plastic parts off camera before reassembling here. Alright, now it's time to reassemble the lower playfield and put on new rubber rings there. It was particularly satisfying to put new rubber bands on the flippers. They looked very bad before. Here I'm fixing that side target that I put on wrong earlier. We've completed the playfield cleaning and reassembly. One last thing is cleaning the glass before putting it back in the machine. Alright, let's take a look at how the playfield came out. Overall, it looks much cleaner. Most of the ball trails are gone, and the area between the pop bumpers looks much better. The lower playfield has more of a shine, and the new white rubbers really look great. The new rubber rings should make the ball bounce better and improve the gameplay. I'm curious if there's anything that can be done about the hairline cracks in the playfield. I don't really mind them too much. They just show the age of the game. Alright, let's close out with some gameplay. The sounds of this game really brings back the memories for me. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.